Now I am going to go ahead and start decorating the inside front cover and the inside back cover. And I generally, when I make mini albums, I like the inside covers to be pockets, in case people want to stick, paperwork and mementos in there and things like that. It's mostly I use them just for storage, and I don't usually put like flippy flaps and stuff on the inside covers. So I've decided what I'm going to do for both the inside and the back, inside front and the inside back, is I'm going to do some crisscross pockets. So the first thing I need to do is I need to get both of these pieces of paper glued down. And I am going to use actually a combination of glue and of the double-sided tape. And I'm not going to go all the way to the corners with the tape, because if you remember what I said at the beginning, I don't like the tape to, be so you can actually feel it through the design here where I did the punching, so I'm going to glue the corners. Otherwise it gets kind of gummy. All right. Let's see if you can see or not. All right, and then I am just going to try and stick it down there as centered as I can get. Oh, sorry. Slight delay. Forgot the glue in the corners. Getting ahead of myself. All right, now I'm going to stick it down. Oops, you know what? I got it going the wrong direction. I forgot it wasn't a perfect square. It's a little bit longer in height than it is in width. That's why it wasn't looking right. Okay. I'm going to kind of gently press on the corners because since I punched them, the paper is a little bit more delicate with the punches in them. Okay. All right. Now the next thing I want to do is I've decided that I want the pockets to go up just about halfway up to the page. So I need to measure how many inches that's going to be. And I want to start at the bottom of the photo mat, not the bottom of the actual chipboard cover. And I think I want them probably to be at about 4.5. So I'm going to write 4.5 down here on a scrap piece of paper. And then I'm going to measure the bottom here to see how far over I want it to go. And I think I am going to go, I guess I'll go 7.5 in width. So I'm going to just set this aside for a second here. And I am going to grab my base paper here. Stick my glue out of the way here. All right. And then I'm going to grab my paper cutter. All right. And so now I want to go, let's see, 4.5 for the height of the first pocket. And I'm going to cut 2 of these because I'm going to make sort of base papers for the pretty paper for my crisscross pockets. So I'm going to cut one piece at 4.5. And another piece at 4.5. And actually, since I have the cutting board out here and the paper here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut the pockets for the back page too. 4.5. And 4.5. Oops, I don't want to get rid of that yet. And then I want to cut them 7.5 in length here, or width, whichever way you want to look at it. Okay, now what I am going to do, since I want them to be crisscross pockets, I am going to take my ruler and I am just going to lay it across this sheet diagonally. Okay, and I am just going to draw a line with my pencil here. I'm going to draw one. Well, actually, it should be. Actually, it should be even, so I guess I really didn't need to cut 4 sheets. So I'm just going to use 2 here. And I'm going to go ahead and draw another line diagonally. Okay. Then I am going to grab my craft knife. I'm going to just lay my ruler along that line there. And I'm just going to go ahead and slice the paper. Oops. Get a very clean cut there. All right. I'm going to go ahead and do that with another one. I'm trying to decide now if I want to punch this with an edge punch. I think I'm going to try it and see what it looks like. If I don't like it, I might end up scrapping it and starting over. But I'm going to start in about the middle of this triangular piece that I cut here. And I think what I'm going to do is just snip this little excess off. Just want to take a look and see how it looks here. What I'm trying to decide is if I want to put any pattern paper here, and I think actually I will cut a little triangle of pattern paper and stick them on each one of these two. So let me grab my pencil here. I don't know what the heck I did with it. Well, there it is. All right. Okay, so I am going to need to have a piece of paper that is, because I want to avoid the punch design that I just put in there. So I think I'm going to go with 2.5 in height. By 4.5 in width. I'm going to see how that looks. All right, so I'll do the 4.5 in width first. And then we'll go 2.5 in height. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and cut this at an angle again, and we're gonna see how that looks. So that's why I hesitated to call this a tutorial, because when I make mini albums, I don't ever follow anybody else's tutorial. I just kind of fly by the seat of my pants and just kind of make it up as each page up as I go along. So this is a challenge for me, trying to have it all have it all laid out ahead of time. Okay, let's see how that looks. That doesn't look too bad. All right, I think I'm going to go with that, and I think what I'm going to do, because I have that decorative punch on the other photo mat, I'm going to use the same one here for both of these pieces of paper. You know what I should have done? I should have used the corner chomper on this piece. Because it's not going to lay right. You know what? I'm going to go with it, because when I embellish this, at the very end, I'll probably, I don't know, maybe stick a flower over here or something, so you're not going to see it anyway. All right, that's what I'm going to do. So you guys got to come along for the ride with my crazy thought process. And since this is going to be a pocket, I'm not going to use the tape. I'm just going to go ahead and glue the edges here. I'm going to line the pink up with the other one the best I can. All right, oh, there it is. And then I'm just going to glue this whole thing down because this piece is not going to be a pocket. The whole thing's going to be glued. Okay, I just want to make sure there's a little bit of a pink margin on the left and on the bottom. All right, so now I'm going to take another one of these pink triangular pieces that I cut. Let's see. I want one with the texturing on the front. Maybe. Looks like I got to cut it the opposite direction. If I want one with texturing on the front, I'm going to have to cut another one, and I'm going to have to cut it with the diagonal going the opposite direction. Because with this paper, it's textured on the front and it's smooth on the back. All right. All right, there we go. And it's going to go like so. So I'm going to start with doing the corner with my corner punch. Maybe. And then I'm going to take my pretty decorative punch here for the edge, and I'm going to do the same thing on this one. Take my scissors and just cut off that little excess edge there, that little piece on the end. Okay. And then I'm going to cut another little scrap piece of paper here. I'm just going to use the scrap here of the baby diaper pins. All right, so we wanted 4.5 in length. By 2.5 in height. And this time we want the Well, I guess with this piece of paper, it doesn't matter which way we angle it. I'll take that back, it kind of does. All right, let's go this way with it. All right. And I'm just going to cut it with my craft knife again. And this time, instead of using that decorative corner punch, I'm just going to go ahead and use the corner chomper here with the 1/2 inch. And it's not going to matter if they're different because I'm going to be covering this one up with some type of embellishment at the very end. So see, it looks a little bit better with one just rounded and then one with the pretty scroll. So I'm going to start with gluing the pink one down just on the edges because it needs to be a pocket. Grab another paper towel here. Glue all over the place. Okay. And then I'm going to lay this down on the right side, and I'm going to line it up here with the scroll punch on the bottom of the photo mat and with the bottom. Okay, and now I'm going to glue this whole piece here and glue the entire thing down. I'm going to leave, again, a little bit of a margin on the right and on the bottom. I'm going to try and line it up with the other piece there so they sit about the same place. All right. And so there is my first crisscross pocket. So this whole thing here is open. I don't want to pull it up because it's glued, but this whole part is open here to this edge. And then underneath here is also a pocket. And I'll probably embellish it up real pretty at the very end. Put some flowers and stuff in there. And then you've got this nice big area for, you know, a photo mat or whatever else you might want to put in there. In fact, I might actually even put a photo mat in here. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and do that right now. Now that I'm thinking about it, that would be a good spot for one, because it would kind of break up this big blank area here. I really have issues when it comes to like blank spots. I always feel like I gotta fill them. So I'm going to grab another color of paper here. Let's go with this pretty teal color. All right. All right, I think I want to do a spot for a 3x5 photo. So I want to cut actually 2 pieces of paper. One is going to be the solid color paper, the teal that I just showed you, and then another piece is going to be the decorative paper. So if I want a 3x5 photo, I want to cut the outside at a 4x6. So I'm going to cut that teal paper at a 4x6 size, because what I want is a 1/4 of an inch margin all the way around the folder, or I mean the photo, with each one of the papers. Is that as clear as mud? Okay, so 4 by 6. And then let's see. I'm going to grab another piece of my scrap paper here. I think I like that one. Okay, and this one I am going to cut at a 3.5 by 5.5. I'm going to get that edge off first. So we'll do a 5.5 here by 3.5. Okay, so see how we've got the 1/4 inch margin all the way around the actual decorative paper, and then the 3 by 5 photo would fit just perfectly in here. With it still have a little bit of a margin, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to round each one of the corners with my corner chomper. And I'm going to start by sticking this one to the teal color. And I'm just going to go ahead and use the tape to do that. And I'm going to overlap the tape again since the corners are rounded, and then I can just cut around them with scissors, cut off the excess tape. I gotta unstick the tape from my fingers. Alright, and then just pull the backing off. Not making it easy for me. You know what's interesting? I'm just noticing now. This is supposed to be a 1/2 inch double-sided tape. And there's only a 1/4 inch strip there. I gotta tell you guys, I am not impressed with this tape. I would be hard-pressed to recommend it. This is the first time I've ever tried this brand. And I don't think I'd ever buy it again, to be quite honest with you. Because it did not tape to the edge, I am going to have to go around it with some glue now. Otherwise, we won't be stuck down on the edges. Come on. I'm going to stick it down here on the teal paper. This tape kind of rolls up too. That's another thing I don't like about it. some products. I know a lot of people like those ATGs, you know, the tape guns. And I do have one because I bought one years ago when, you know, I thought everybody had to have one. And I do not like mine at all. I, for the life of me, cannot get that thing to distribute the tape evenly at all. So I almost never use it. So then we're just going to plop that photo mat right there. And instead of using that 1/2 inch tape, I'm just going to go ahead and grab my skinnier tape that's a different brand, because I know that this tape is actually good stuff. And I'm going to go all the way around it here. Okay, I'm going to pull the backing off. Okay, and I'm just going to plop that down right in the middle here. Right in the middle of this open space I have, I guess I should say. All right. So there we have a space for a nice picture, and, you know, maybe the hospital picture that they, do they still do that? Do they still take pictures of the newborns in the hospital? And then, you know, a place in here for, you know, any paperwork or mementos or anything, you know, welcoming baby home, etc. Okay, so that is the inside cover, and I am actually going to do the inside back cover exactly the same way with just different papers. And I'm not going to, I probably won't record that because it's the exact same instruction, and then I'll come back when I'm done. Alrighty, here we have the back inside cover done exactly the same as the front inside cover, with the crisscross pockets and the photo mat. Okay, and I just wanted to, I dug this out of the trash because I wanted to show this to you guys. This is that double-sided tape that I just tried for the first time. Not impressed. Just so you know, it's by Scrapbook Adhesives, Crafty Power Tape. And it's not so crafty and it's not so powerful. So keep that in mind when you're shopping for double-sided tape. Okay. All right, so my next plan of attack here is to start, go ahead decorating the first page. And my plan here, whether or not I'll actually stick to it, is yet to be seen. But since I have 6 pages here, my plan is to do 3 pages, you know, a little bit different, and then repeat the whole process with the second 3 pages. So I will be back and we'll start going on the first page here.